What's my strategy? More fighting. This is my stage now.
Ready for anything. I will see this war through. What's the plan? Whatever it takes. You knew the odds.
Keep it up.
I'm awake.
I do this for all of us. Oh! Bernie's unstoppable. For the Empire. I do not tolerate obstacles. Each milestone informs the next.
I'll cut a bloody path.
Let's clean up. I will prevail. Missed.
Everything I've done has led to this.
Will this ever end?
All for our future. That took too...
regret this power.
Thank you. I was just stronger.
Stay down. Let's keep up the pace. It won't be in vain. Let's clean up. I will prevail. I do this for all of us.
Ready for anything. I'll cut a bloody path. I'm awake. What's the plan?
Feels good to fight for a cause. Your death is not in vain. Thinning their numbers. I'm good now. Let's keep up the pace. Going for the kill. Feels good to fight for a cause.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Thinning their numbers.
This is my stage now.
Feels good to fight for a cause. I'm getting it. Thanks. Thinning their numbers. Stay down. Technique never betrays. Appreciate it.
For the Empire. Going for the kill.
Feels good to fight for a cause.
No time for ambulance.
Thinning their numbers. Feels good to fight for a cause. I finally mastered it.
For the fate of Foden.
More fighting.
Strike you down.
Will this ever end?
interesting way of looking at life. Ah, it is you. Just at the right time. Oh, is it nighttime already? I must have gotten carried away. There's something I wanted to discuss. Something about you. I am starting to believe that you are a true hero. You hold the lost crest, you wield the sword of the Creator, and you lead everyone in battle against great enemies. Not only that, but you are a strategist. You stand alongside rulers, supporting them, advising them. You do not seem particularly ambitious, and yet you accomplish so much. I am not exaggerating. Everything I said is true. I have been reading about the history of Fargus, you know. The kingdom's founder, Luke, the King of Lions, had 2 advisors. One of them was Pan, the undesiring strategist. According to historical records, Pan wanted nothing for himself. He devoted himself entirely to Luke. He had tremendous power, but he never seemed concerned about his legacy. So in the old chronicles, there is hardly any mention of Pan's deeds. All that we know is that he helped Luke, his friend and leader. It is not surprising that you have never heard of him. I did not even know his name until recently. But when I watch how you conduct yourself, I feel that I am seeing the unknown deeds of Pan. It is only a thought, of course, but it makes me feel rather happy. Even if it is not in the pages of a history book, a life can be full of achievement. I know that I will never be greater than Edelgard. She will always surpass me. I am what I am. Like you and this undesiring strategist. I will do what I am called to do, even if no mark of me remains in the history books. Oh, Professor. I didn't realize you were there. If we keep running into each other like this, people will start to talk. Hey, don't get mad. I was joking. Ah, forget it. What do you need? I fell for that girl recently, but I just wanted to have some fun and leave it at that. So I told her we should break it off. I guess she was feeling a little more serious than I was. She started crying and everything got a bit complicated. Come on, Professor. Playing around with girls is the most fun a guy can have. Besides, I don't care what you think of me. I don't intend to change how I live my life. I'm a good-for-nothing, if you haven't noticed. But I'm still a noble with a crest. That's all anyone cares about. It's best to avoid getting too serious with fools like that. It only leads to trouble. I'm gonna be forced into an arranged marriage with some random noble woman anyway. By the way, Professor, you didn't know you had a crest, did you? I see. I suppose a mercenary wouldn't be concerned with such things. Most children who are born to noble families are tested upon birth to see if they bear one. Even descendants of the 10 elites, like myself, can't be legitimate heirs without a crest. That means as children, we're only accepted if we're born with one. The heads of most noble houses keep having kids until they get one with a crest. Those children then grow up to be heads of their houses, and the vicious cycle continues. Do you get it now? To all these commoner girls, I'm just a trophy. Or rather, a stud horse. See? I knew you'd get it. These girls don't love me. They love the potential rewards of loving me. If I marry a girl, and she gives birth to a child with a crest, that kid might become the next head of House Gautier. But nowadays, with the bloodlines getting weaker, there are a lot of kids like my brother, born with no hope. For ages now, those of us with crests have been envied and desired, but never for who we are. I understand the value of my blood. Believe me, I hate how much I understand it. I know better than to dream of being free from this burden. I'm used to it by now. I used to think I didn't have the right to live freely. That's right. You know what? I'm a bit jealous. The whole time you were growing up, you never knew you had a crest. You were free. Nobody pretended to like you. I kind of hate you for that. You were a spoiled brat who should pay for that crest. Maybe I'll collect the debt. Gotcha! Wow, you should have seen the look on your face just then. Don't mind me, Professor. After all, ladies love a dark and brooding noble.
Yes? Oh, it's you, Professor. I was certain it was Hubert coming to drag me back to my duties.
Your Majesty, you must know your supreme talents are needed at present. Why not gaze at these documents instead of the sky?
Doesn't it? And the worst part is that he's always right, so I can't even argue with him. But that's enough about Hubert for the moment. While I have your attention, I'd like to thank you for your help in that last battle. As you well know, I'm perfectly capable of commanding the army by myself. However, when you're around, it's somehow different. I'm not sure I can properly explain it. I suppose your perspective on the battlefield is simply sharper than mine. When you're devising tactics and tricks for us, it's almost as though you can read the enemy's mind. There's no getting around it. Your talent for strategy far exceeds my own. I'm quite jealous, in all honesty. Is that a fact? Well, if you insist. I suppose a flower from another's field is always more beautiful. I'll admit, I think of you as rather detached. So to hear that you have emotions such as jealousy is something of a relief. I can't deny it. Ever since I underwent those procedures, I've certainly distanced myself from the ordinary world. Friends. That word somehow doesn't seem adequate. Besides, we've been friends for a long time, you and I. By now, we're so much more than that, at least in my mind. You know, instead of Edelgard, you can call me just Elle, if you so please. That's what my parents and closest sisters used to call me when I was little. Now there's no one left who calls me Elle. But with you, well, I think I could allow it. In fact, it would mean a great deal to me. Why? Well, you have stood beside me and shared my burdens. As I said, you are much more than a friend. In truth, you are like family to me. I suppose that's why.
I still need to improve.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. I'm glad I asked you.
Easy. Of course. Professor! Do you have a minute, Professor? I gotta talk to you. I've been thinking a lot about those brigands with the scorpion tattoos, and I realized something. I mean, I'll feel better if I get this off my chest, right? Okay, listen. I can't deny who I am. I know you were right 5 years ago when you told me not to chase after that suspicious guy. But I still can't get over the possibility that he might have hurt those kids. I would have regretted not stopping him for the rest of my life. There's no way I could forgive myself. It sounds awful to say, but the safety of those kids is more important to me than the nights we lost. I'm sorry, Professor, but I can't promise that I won't disobey your orders in the future. I know. It's too big a risk to keep me around. I won't cause a fuss. I'll just pack my bags and... Wait, what? I guess so. You're really okay with me sticking around? Even if I might not always follow orders? People could get hurt if you let me keep doing things my way. Just like that? I almost can't believe it. I really struggled to come to this decision, you know? I want to stand by your side, but I won't stop standing up for what I believe in. I know I might cause trouble for everyone, but I just, you know,
Oh, I give up. I've got nothing else to say. Should have just kept my mouth shut. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Professor. Thanks for accepting me for who I am. I'm glad I get to keep fighting by your side.
Right, right.
What?
Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late? Oh, that was likely my voice. I've been worrying about something. I asked you once to help me achieve my goal of being a person who can simply nap all day. Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my crest research might be for naught. Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their power meant to bring about death and destruction. I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all. It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace, sleep or war. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate the sentiment. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you. Professor, don't make faces like that. People like you, who listen to my blathering and then nod and smile as though what I say matters, people like you are very precious to me.
I can't believe how long it's been since I left home. Since I was dragged out of the house, I mean. 5 whole years. It's weird to think about. At first, I remember I was desperate to go back, but now it's the opposite. I have friends here, and I have you. The monastery's become a second home to me. Back then, I never would have dreamed a day like this would come. It's all thanks to you. You've given me a second chance at life. If not for you, I never would have gotten used to leaving my room, let alone the monastery. Maybe the battlefields just dulled my senses. I'm much better with strangers and new places now, though. I don't panic nearly as much as before.
all on my own? That sounds like a tough assignment. Where did this come from all of a sudden? Hey, hold on. You're teasing me, aren't you? Please don't joke around like that anymore. It's torture for me. You're still not taking me seriously. I mean it. Promise me you won't do that again. Friends respect each other's feelings, don't they? Good. I'll hold you to that. You're absolutely not allowed to send me out anywhere on my own. Got it? You would need to come with me. If you're with me, I can go anywhere in the world. No, that defeats the purpose. Why can't you get what I'm saying? Oh, that's enough. I need some time alone.
That's right.
Hi.
So, listen. Professor?
Professor. Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leader of the Imperial Army. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. Relax, I was just having fun. You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone, but I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry though, I don't plan to turn on you.
Hey there.
Hey,
Professor? Please take my apologies. I lost time while I was training. War is life and death. Training has great importance. I will keep training now. I hope your night is good. I need to have more training. There are things that I have not done yet. Things that have to be done. For the future, I have to try with hardness. training, studying, socializing, I will not always be having time to do those things. And speaking the language of Fodlan, I worry I will never be doing it just right. Why? Because the position of Bridget is weak. Fodlan and Dagda are big. Bridget is a small island in the middle of them. Bridget has great beauty, but little power. We will not survive unless we get more strength. I will lead Bridget, and so I have responsibility. Having more strength than anyone might be impossible, but I have to give it my best try. I am an ally of everyone, and I have belonging with our squad. That is also why I try with hardness. You can always be counting on me. But you should know that one of these days will be when I return to Bridget. Before that day, do not try stopping me from trying. And please, keep watching over me. With you, I can try with more hardness than I could alone. Professor? Professor, a pleasure to see you. I've never been very good at praying. I was here to confess my foolishness. While I'm at it, may I confess something to you too? I realize what a burden I've been. On you, I mean. After every breakup, I neglect my work, and I know how that affects you. I'm completely worthless as a woman. Can you imagine how that feels? I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I just know it. You think so too, don't you? Really? So maybe there's still hope for me. Who am I kidding? I've known for years how hopeless I am. What's wrong with me? It's not my looks. I'm still gorgeous. Or am I? Be honest. Do I look old? No, not possible. I'm the songstress who swept the Empire off its feet. Men profess their love for me hourly. It can't be my looks. I knew I was right. I'd be in real trouble if I weren't this beautiful. Oh no. If the problem isn't my looks, and they are not the problem, then it must be... what? My personality? A girl can tell a lie when she hears one. You think there's a problem, don't you? I suppose I can be a bit unkempt. I do have a short temper, and I may be a little lazy, sometimes. But I've always heard fellas, like a woman with a few flaws. Seems to me there are plenty of flawed girls who have landed themselves a good man. So maybe my trouble is I'm not imperfect enough. Do you think I could use a few more flaws? Why? Do you think I'm flawed enough already?
seems I am discovered. I suppose that means assassination is out of the question. At least for now. Merely keeping an eye on you for the moment. Nothing to be concerned over. Unusually watchful. Difficult to steal upon in slumber. Perhaps an odorless, tasteless poison. Lady Edelgard certainly took interest in a difficult one this time. I suppose that question does warrant a response, considering it may mean your life. The answer requires me to explain some of the complex internal politics of the Empire. Are you familiar with Volkard von Arundel? He is Lady Edelgard's uncle. You may also know him as Lord Arundel, the Empire's regent. Many years ago, he took Her Majesty and fled to the Kingdom of Fargus. Then after a time, he returned to seize power. Together with former Prime Minister Eyre and my father, Lord Arundel rendered Emperor Ionius IX politically impotent. Lady Edelgard is Ionius IX's daughter. I cannot begin to fathom the depth of her sadness at his betrayal. I see something of Lord Arundel in you. When I look at you, I feel I can almost see a second self lurking beneath the surface. It is as if you are in constant dialogue with something inside your heart. Something with desires very different from your own. Does that description feel familiar to you at all? Because to me, you seem unpredictable. As though you could turn traitor at any moment. The more I learn about you, the less I like. I had thought you might be of use to Lady Edelgard. But now I am beginning to think you may, through no fault of your own, present too great a risk. I hope you will prove me wrong, Professor. I would hate for this to come to bloodshed. And that concludes my report.
Hubert, I can't shake the feeling that you're keeping more secrets from me.
I have told you before, there are secrets even I am unwilling to share.
I remember. However, I am the Emperor now. If the Minister of the Imperial Household does not obey his orders, I have the right to execute him.
I fear you have misunderstood me, Your Majesty. It is true that I am officially your minister, but such titles are of little significance to me. I serve you purely out of personal devotion. Perhaps there was a time when I served the Imperial line due to my duty as a member of House Vestra. But since you returned from the kingdom, my loyalty has been to you alone.
I see. Then you are unwilling to obey my orders as Emperor?
Correct. If you prefer to treat this formally, then charge me with a crime. I will gladly offer up my neck to the executioner.
You know I would never do such a thing, and that I pay no heed to the title you bear. It is your own presence and capabilities that I value so highly, Hubert. Titles are meaningless next to such things. Our families have no bearing on this matter, nor does the Empire itself.
In that case, Lady Edelgard, I ask you to turn a blind eye to my secrets. They're trifles, beneath your notice. Best I handle them alone. You should focus on the path ahead of you. The scarlet path I have carefully prepared. Whether that path is red with blood is not something you need trouble yourself over.
As Emperor, I'm obliged to accept that answer. However, as your friend, it irritates me to no end. You speak often of painting the path I walk, yet you do so in secret. I am the one you serve, but you refuse to let me in. I trust you, Hubert, and that is precisely why I want to know everything. Your secret hopes and burdens, all of it. If I'm truly the center of your world, then I wish you would trust me as well as I trust you.
Very well. You have me beaten. I will tell you as much as I am able. From the assassins I've eliminated, to the gold I've spent on bribes, to the identity of the one I love.
Wait a moment. Are you saying you have romantic feelings for someone?
Yes. That is the one secret I have particularly hoped to keep from you.
Oh, that's utter nonsense. You can't possibly keep something so fascinating from me. Who is it?
It is you, Lady Edelgard. Did you ever really doubt?
Hubert, you never cease to surprise me.
Ah, the smell, the texture, the smooth finish. This region's tea is the finest in the world.
Hello, Ferdinand. You seem to be in a good mood.
What is that supposed to mean? Perhaps you expected me to hold a grudge against you after our duel. In fact, I have moved on.
Have you now? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I took it hard at the time, I will confess. I always thought that I equaled you in skill, or even surpassed you. But you showed me that I do not come close to matching your talents. Yet a true noble does not give up in the face of defeat. I will continue my training, and one day I will be an elite warrior. That is the path I must take, as a noble and a man of honor.
You really are in a good mood. Your determination is admirable.
Yes, one day I will surpass your abilities, and I will defeat you in combat.
Ferdinand, there's something I've been meaning to say to you for a while now. Honestly, I couldn't care less that you were of noble birth. Your fierce determination doesn't come from your bloodline. It's your own doing. The reason I value you and want to be friends with you is because of who you are, not who your family is.
I have something I would like to say to you, too. Certainly we must recognize the common folk who strive for greatness, but for those of us born into nobility, things are more complicated. From birth, nobles must excel. If we do not, we will be forced out of our houses. This environment breeds superior individuals, and they in turn recreate the rigorous environment for their own children. Without that cycle, there would be no political elite guiding the world towards prosperity.
So you're saying that the kind of world I'm striving to create is wrong?
I would not go so far as to say your way is wrong, just that another way might be better. If you insist upon undoing the nobility, then we must build something in its place. We can provide free education for all, and then select the highest performing students for more intensive training and tutoring. I truly believe that people are products of their environment.
Finding a way to educate the people. Interesting. I'm impressed by how much thought you've given this. No matter what shape the world takes, I'm sure I'll always need people like you by my side. People with strong principles who will argue with me and force me to consider ideas that are contrary to my own.
Yes, exactly. Finally, Edelgard, you appreciate how important I am to your cause.
I've always thought of you as a valued friend, Ferdinand. That's nothing new.
Hilgard, I have to tell you something. I think now is the right time. Do you know what my ancestor Derek von Eyre said after your ancestor defeated him? He said, "You are an imperial beauty. Please, accept me as your husband."
Halt, Ferdinand. There's a time and a place for everything. But that time is not now. Linhard, I finally found you.
These structures were built more than 1,000 years ago and still remain. Amazing. Most interesting, there's a pattern to the saints' emblems carved into each of the sarcophagi. Here, you'll see if you come take a look.
Perhaps another time. Right now, I have something to discuss with you. You've said before that you don't care about the usefulness of your research. After giving it some thought, I decided that I'd like to create an institution for crest and relic research, and I'd like for you to lead it. All you would need to do is carry out whatever research you like. Somebody else will decide how to make use of your findings. What do you think? I imagine such an environment would suit you quite well.
Let's be clear that I have my reservations, but I suppose I'll take you up on your offer, if you insist, although I'm unsure if it's a good idea. If my research dries up, you'll be stuck with a worthless institute. I do hope you understand that, Your Majesty.
Why are you skeptical about my proposal?
It's because all I've ever cared about is following my own curiosity, wherever it takes me. Being head of some institution and researching as part of an organized team sounds like no fun at all. At that point, it's not research, it's just a job, and one I've been practically forced into at that. However, since I know you put a lot of effort into preparing this opportunity for me, and since I like you well enough, I will begrudgingly take you up on the offer.
Well then, I suppose I should be grateful. But I'll be honest. I see little point in bringing you on board if you're so troubled by the idea. Let's put this idea on hold for the moment. I'll figure something out for you by war's end. I have great respect for your talent, Linhard. I'm certain I can find a way to make use of it that's to your liking.
What's wrong, Edelgard?
Why do you ask?
You always look at me funny, but right now you're looking at me more normal.
You can seem rather oblivious, but then you go and shock me with your keen insight.
Well, it's a little harsh.
Is it? You only have yourself to blame for the reputation. As for me, I've always thought of you as something of a victim.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, you're a victim of Fodlan's antiquated system of nobility. You're skilled and you work hard, yet you still play second fiddle to your less capable older brother. Even still, you fight on, not allowing yourself to be discouraged by it all. People like you help to fuel my fire. If I could only smash this rotten system, I could save you.
You've always got a whole lot to say about your grand plans for the future.
Just hear me out. I've realized that I was wrong about you. I can now see that you found a way to live the life you want to live. Simply put, you love working hard, and you love training. You don't know the meaning of surrender. I never thought such a genuine person could really exist.
That's a lot to take in. You're not too far off, though. I try to live life the way I want to. I wasn't that way when we first met, but I've changed since then. Nowadays, what you see is what you get.
It doesn't matter that you have burdens to bear. Despite that, you never stray from your path. You don't let anything tie you down. I can hardly imagine a life like that. To be honest, I'm a bit jealous.
Well, I don't think I could live the way you do, but I admire you for sticking to it. You never let your burdens get you down. You try to push through them instead. If I'm being honest, I changed my mind about you a while back.
Is that so?
You can be real critical of yourself, and you admit it when you make a mistake.
That's true. I certainly make mistakes, but I feel it's important to own up to them.
I probably make twice as many mistakes as you, but I don't notice half of them.
This is no laughing matter, Caspar. Then again, that's part of how you choose to live as well, isn't it?
That it is. But it doesn't change what I promised before. I'm gonna keep fighting for you, Edelgard. Even if we don't live our lives the same way, I'll help cut a path through so you can follow safely behind.
I don't doubt it. The future is ours, Caspar. I'm counting on you to help clear the way.
Gardening with you is a lot of fun, Lady Edelgard.
I feel the same. You know so much about it, Bernadette.
I looked after flowers a lot back home. I like them. They don't talk, they don't get angry, they don't hate you. And they're sweet.
They are sweet. Unlike people, they can all be trusted on sight.
You're sweet too, Lady Edelgard. I mean, not sweet, but, you know what I mean. You can talk or even get angry all you want.
Well, I'll strive to avoid getting angry.
You're really kind. I'm less scared of you than I used to be. Most nobles are terrifying. I've had lots of bad experiences with them. But getting the chance to talk to you like this makes me glad I came to the monastery.
I'm glad too. You made quite a few friends at the academy, didn't you? I had heard rumors about the reclusive daughter of House Varley, but you're nothing like I imagined.
Rumors? About me? Just pretend you didn't hear anything.
There's no need to be embarrassed. Rumors are meaningless. All that matters is the truth.
You're right. I'm not really a recluse now anyway. Not since I came to the monastery. I won't let the rumors bother me.
I'm happy to hear it. Actually, I should thank you.
Thank me? What for? Wait, do you mean you need to thank me for all the times I've made you mad? You do, don't you?
That mind of yours, no, I mean the grateful sort of thanks. Before I met you, I was more prone to anger, but now I've changed in that regard. So, thank you for that. Oh, I suppose you're not listening.
Oh, I'm done for. 5 years worth of resentment is about to crash down on me all at once.
It's okay, Bernadette. I'm thanking you, not attacking you.
Oh, I jumped to conclusions again, didn't I?
You did, yes. But don't worry about it. Enough talk, don't you think? Let's take care of these sweet little plants.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Bernadetta, I hope you'll keep spending time with me.
Of course I will. Hey, look. This flower's just about ready to bloom.
So it is. I can't wait to see its true colors.
I have been watching you in secrecy, Edelgard. But you and Hubert were noticing me, correct?
Well, if you intend to shadow us like that, you can be sure it won't escape our notice. Hubert was primed and ready to remove you. I ordered him to stand down.
You have my thanks. I have been making a decision that I am wanting to learn from you. I was thinking it was enough to be shooting one bird with one arrow. But after speaking with you, I trained with hardness. Now I can be shooting 2 birds with 1 arrow.
2 pheasants? Are you implying that...
Yes, a single arrow.
That's astounding, Petra. It's perhaps a bit late to explain now, but what I was getting at earlier was actually...
I am having a joke.
You... come again?
I really was shooting these birds with 1 arrow, but my joke is that I did have understanding about what you told me. I took it to my heart.
Did you know?
You are a person with great bluntness. I am admiring of you. As an emperor, a commander, a warrior, and a friend, you are excelling at all that you do. All of the empire is resting on your shoulders, and that is including Bridget too. I will not be falling behind you. I will be carrying Bridget on my shoulders too. And one day, you and I will be facing each other, and we will be shaking hands.
Yes, that much is certain. I can see that you no longer need me to look out for you. You and I are much the same. We dutifully shoulder our burdens and stand tall no matter what. It would be foolish of me to deny it.
Your words give me great joy. And it also gave me joy to see you being flustered when I was showing you the birds.
A cheap trick to be sure, but inarguably funny. To think that you went to all the trouble of shooting 2 pheasants at once for the sake of a joke.
We both are growing every day. I hope we will keep doing so.
Ah, young Edelgard. This is your first time in this room, yes?
That's right. When I was a student, I avoided this place. I couldn't allow the church to learn of my crests, after all.
True enough. But now you have come here by your own choice. Can I take that as an indication that you have come to trust me a little more?
I suppose so. Though I'm still bothered by certain things.
Tell me, what things might those be?
Well, we're fighting to free the world from the church's control and to unify Fodlan. You must have some idea of what the world I'm seeking to create will be like.
With the world freed from the powers of crests, Fodlan's system of nobility will collapse.
Precisely. Our current system is founded on the fact that crests are inherited through blood. If we shatter the status quo so that those without crests are no longer at the mercy of those with them, the very concept of nobility will vanish.
Why should that have any effect on me? I am no longer a member of the nobility.
Perhaps the fate of the nobility is of no consequence to you. But what about that of crests? You've devoted your life to unraveling their secrets, whereas I seek to create a world where crests are no longer valued. In fact, I would prefer to rid the world of them entirely if at all possible. Does this not concern you?
I see. I think I finally understand why you've always seemed so unsure about me. You imagine your ambition might crush my dreams. I assure you, there is nothing to worry about. I support your plans and your ideals wholeheartedly. But at the same time, I also believe that the influence of crests will not be so easily quelled. That is why I must continue to research them and unravel all the secrets they hold.
I see. Professor Manuela, may I come in? This room, what happened here?
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. Why? Is something the matter?
No, I just, can I help you tidy up? Actually, I have to know. How did you make such a mess in the first place?
Please don't ask for the details. Suffice to say, my room always looks like this after I've been dumped.
Oh, right. Well, let's see what we can do about it.
Your help was unexpected, but appreciated, Edelgard. Now, what can I do for you?
I heard that you haven't been acting it yourself, so I came to see if you're doing all right. But the moment I saw you, I could tell you were troubled, so it seemed pointless to ask.
I suppose it was rather obvious, wasn't it? Perhaps I should stop being quite so dramatic. All the same, dear, I'd like to repay you for helping me out. Name your prize.
I don't need a reward. If you wouldn't mind answering my question, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Of course. What is it?
I once asked you why you chose to retire. You said that the goddess supports you emotionally, but it's up to you to take care of the rest. I have to admit that I don't quite understand what you meant by that. Can you please explain?
Did I say that? I suppose so. From joining the Middle Funk Opera Company to becoming a diva of the grand stage. I went through so much to achieve what I did. Looking back, I don't know how I made it.
What happened during that time?
A lot. My divinely gifted voice only got me to the edge of the stage. From there, I had to work hard to defeat my rivals. I did all of this by myself through sheer force of will, all so I could stand center stage.
Ah, I see I was wrong about something. I thought that being a devout believer implied a certain weakness of spirit, an inability to survive on your own. But you've proven me wrong, Professor Manuela.
It's strange. I never thought you and I would be able to sit together and drink tea like this.
Drink tea, you say? But that does not smell like tea. The aroma. Would that be coffee by any chance? Imported from Dagda, I believe. I do not care for it myself.
The knowledge is impressive, although I should expect nothing less from a noble, I suppose. Lady Edelgard surpasses you in nearly every respect. But I think when it comes to positivity, you may actually exceed her.
Excuse me?
In a way, it is merely a mask for your tactlessness. But even so, your relentless optimism... Well, suffice it to say that it is your best quality.
What?
You are constantly striving to grow as a person, to seek new knowledge, to push new limits. When others might get distracted or abandon their path, you never yield. In that aspect, at least, I think you are unmatched.
Hubert, are you alright? Do you have a cold? Or the plague? Am I hearing a deathbed confession?
It was only a compliment. There's no need for such dramatic exaggeration.
Dramatic, you say?
I do my best to analyze others without emotion. Even if I find you to be a contemptible degenerate, I can still evaluate your abilities in an impartial way.
So, because you assess people without emotion, you are totally confident in your appraisals. It seems I was wrong about you.
Huh. You actually understand.
Please, do not compliment me again, though. I find it quite unsettling. It is like hearing a snake sing an aria. At least put it in a letter next time.
In the very unlikely event that there is a next time, I promise to put it in writing. That's the last of them. Another threat to Her Majesty? Who's that?
It's me. You owe me for that one.
Shamir, what are you doing here?
Same thing you are, but I'm after a particular target. The dark side of the Knights of Saros is proving troublesome. I should have known, having been one.
I was negligent. I had thought we'd sufficiently thin the numbers of these scum. Seems I was mistaken. In any case, you have my thanks.
Save it. Just doing my job.
Even so, killing your former allies. Do you feel no remorse whatsoever?
You wouldn't, so I ask.
You are not me. Answer the question.
What's it matter? I owed a debt to Rhea. I served in the Knights of Saros to repay her. I repaid that debt. Now I'm here. I'm sure it was considered dishonorable of me to leave, but that's none of my concern. I have no connection to the Saros faith, nor to the ways of Fogland.
That's right. You're from Dagda. Well, consider me glad you're on the right side. At least.
You worry too much. Watch out, or it'll be the death of you.
Shamir, can I be having your time? There is a thought that is giving me great concern.
Let's hear it, Petra.
If Dagda is ever invading Fodlan again, what will you be doing?
I'd join the army of Dagda. I'd lay waste to Fodlan and return to my homeland.
If that is the truth, then I am having one more question for you. If that was happening, would you be fighting your allies in the Imperial Army too?
Of course. You expect me to die for you? You should be prepared to do the same. Your homeland would likely join Dagda.
So, that is your truth.
Maybe. If you'd asked me 5 years ago.
Hmm?
I've been a mercenary since childhood. Always fighting for a bounty. If my allies didn't pay, I'd side with the enemy. It's why I became a sniper. Easier to dispose of anyone with a reward on their head. It's also why I joined the Knights of Saros. I owed them a debt. But that's all changed.
You are not fighting for money now?
That's right. When I see everyone fighting for Fodlan, I feel inclined to help. I won't die for the cause, but I will protect everyone. If the army of Dagda engaged you, I'd fight at your side.
Hearing that it gives me great joy. Until the war is finished, let us fight together.
Caspar, how have you been?
Oh, Shamir, I've been normal. Yeah, totally normal.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Everything's normal.
Then you should try to act like it. If something is bothering you, say it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm disappointed, Caspar. I thought you were the type to always speak your mind.
Alright, fine. You got me. Truth is that I heard something about you. I heard you fought in the battle between the Empire and Dagda.
Yes. And?
And I heard that you maybe lost someone important in that battle.
Perhaps. What's your point?
No point. Not trying to make a point. I just didn't know you were involved in all that.
Buenas noches. Mi mamá dijo que ella va a dormir. Yo no creo que se va a dormir. Para mí que va a ser dormir el gurí, pero tú sabes cómo son las cosas. Mírala, mírala. Ok, es ok. Pero no llores. ¿Por qué tienes que llorar?
¿Tú vas a ver más TV porque no hacen nada juntos allá para leer?
No, porque ella ladra. Acá siento una mosca y ladra. Después cuando tú sientes que la televisión empezando puedes ir para
Yo te recuerdo, tú puedes ver que en ella. Julie.
I was hoping we could be friends, but you fought against the Empire. You obviously have every reason to hate them, so I'm sure you don't want me around.
What does my past have to do with you?
My father was responsible for a lot of what happened to the Dagdans.
Are you responsible for your father's actions?
Well, no, but kinda. I know I wasn't there, but I gotta...
Bring them back.
Huh?
If you're responsible, then bring back the lives that were lost. If you can't, then spare me your pity.
But...
Yesterday's enemy is today's ally. You have to abandon old feuds. Only then can you face me as a friend.
Oh no, it's Felix. He's coming right at me. If I run, he'll chase me. Maybe if I just hold really.
Ahem.
Whatever it is, I didn't do it, I swear. Unless I'm offending you just by standing here.
No, here. I believe this is yours.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's my satchel. Wait, where did you get that?
Stop asking questions and just take it.
No! Trap! It's a trap!
Why are you acting like this?
Acting? Does this terror on my face look fake to you?
You're being difficult. Come on, this is yours.
I can't! Your icy glare has frozen me completely!
Shut up, just take the thing.
No! Please don't kill me!
What? Who's going to...
Sword! He's got a sword!
My sword! How did you...
I can't do this anymore!
What an odd girl. The tree certainly caught my attention. I've never seen that technique before. Oh, I still have to give this back to her.
Ah, Dorothea. I am surprised to find you here. I did not think you were all that religious.
There's a lot you don't know, Ferdy. But you're right. I'd hardly call myself devout. After all, it was thanks to the goddess and her noble regime that I suffered so much as a child.
You must be quite brave to speak so coarsely in this hallowed place. But what do you mean about suffering as a child?
Do I really have to tell you? Oh, forget it. I'm sure you already know that I'm an orphan. I grew up in the alleys of Enbar, begging for coins, eating scraps, drinking from drains.
I see. I remember seeing street children around the city.
I could have died. Then the right person overheard me singing. And suddenly I was in the opera. I was a songstress. And my goodness, did the nobles like me. The people who used to spit on me and call me an urchin, they praised my voice and my beauty. A nobleman who once kicked me gave me the most gorgeous shoes. I almost asked if it was a joke.
So that is why you despise the nobility. But why do you think I am the same as them? Do you really believe that is the kind of man I am? You think I would ever treat people differently based on appearances? There is nothing noble about that.
Oh, really? You're something different? That's not how I remember things. It was the very day that I was discovered. I was in high spirits. Nothing was wrong in the world. I secretly bathed in one of the town's fountains, hoping to wash off some of the dirt from the streets. I sang the same song the opera composer overheard earlier that day. And that's when you appeared.
Me? No, it could not have been.
Don't play dumb. You glared at me, the same look I'd gotten from every other noble, then you ran off. When we met at the academy, you were a different person. All smiles and friendly words. You were like a bee, Ferdinand. A bee attracted to a flower in full bloom.
So it was you then, singing that song. Dorothea, please listen. This is a misunderstanding. When I saw you, I could not take my eyes off you. I was hypnotized. Your beautiful voice, your elegant face, droplets of water on your skin that glittered in the sun. I thought you were a water nymph.
Stop it, don't lie to me.
No, it is true. I was only a child. The vision overwhelmed me. That is why I ran. I plucked up the courage to return, but no one was there. I thought perhaps it was a dream.
Maybe I can believe you. I've wanted to ever since the day you made me those treats. I thought then that maybe you weren't like the others, but there's a lot I have to let go of, Fruity.
Of course. I am glad we had this conversation. You know, I do not mind you thinking of me as a bee. Life as a simple drone circling a queen. It actually sounds quite wonderful.
Don't drones keep the queen safe from other bugs?